Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. Power is power. We are doing the first power rankings of the season today. Let's get fiscal. Let's talk ball.
I
got no one. Both Luis Castillos.
Jacob Wilson, swinging at everything.
Ooh, the kid.
And a knock.
He's swinging. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek code Talkin 2025. My name is Jake Storielli. I go by the moniker at Talkin Jake online. That's Trevor Plouffe, who goes by the moniker at Trevor Plouffe. BBD is filling in for Uncle Bob today. We got the original core here right now. Coach Trev, how are you doing?
I got a story to tell.
Oh,
this is a true story, okay?
Early.
We're going to get into the power rankings. It's going to be a fun episode. I'm so happy BBD's here to hear this story. The other day, I'm sitting out there, my son, Jimmy Clausen's son, out there playing in the water. Random kid. You know, they're on a beach full of people. There's also swimming with them. My kids start coming in. That kid stays out there, and all of a sudden, I see his head just dangling above the water. And you know what I had to go do? Save the kid's life. And I did it. And I'm very happy that I'm just happy that I was there in the moment because
saved his life.
The dad was fishing like 200 yards away. He would have no idea, man. So like I got that kind of riding right now, man. I'm just happy that I was there, to be honest with you, because it was a little scary. I didn't really know what to do. I took the shirt off, lifeguarded it up, Baywatch style, dove in, got the kid, man. So
I'm not going to chop you down. Thank you for your service. I don't know how close
where do I rank in the power rankings now? Hi.
I don't know how close we were to life and death there, but I'm glad that it's not a different story. So thank you.
Right? Okay.
I do have a little, I won't say jealousy, but I had one of our buddies we grew up with. He moved to like a Jersey Shore town, and we hadn't seen him in like a year. And then he's like, "Oh, dude, how you doing?" He's like, "Oh, this, that, and the other." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know, a little while back, like, kind of saved this kid, blah, blah." And we're like, "Oh, all right." Like, dude, it was like a whole deal. Like, he was on the news. It was in the newspaper. And we were like, what? Like, you didn't tell us about this? So, yeah, one of our buddies, also a hero.
I love that. I just announced it on Talking Baseball.
All right. Well, I'm over it. Let's talk power rankings, Trev. Power is power. I know that gets both of us going because we get in our Game of Thrones Cersei mode. And, yeah, it's something we did a little bit last year, and we're like, hey, everyone else kind of does their version. Let's do our version. And, yeah, I don't know if it's going to – I doubt it's monthly, but I don't know, maybe 4 times a year just to check in. And I think it gives us a pulse of where we're at on teams. And, Trev, one of the dumb things I like to do regularly, we're like 16, 17 games in. That's a 10th of the season. We're 1/10 of the way there. I know It doesn't feel like it, right? But a 10th is like a real thing. Like, a 10th of our season, we were bad. Braves. I get what you're about to say. No one uses that unit measurement.
This is where I love doing the power rankings, but it was a little bit of a struggle at some point because I'm like, okay, where do you put the Braves, who have started out horribly, like you just said? Like, I don't think they're a bottom 5 team, but like they've played like a bottom 5 team so far. So that's where I struggle with my rankings. Like, am I going, where do I actually think these teams are, or where are they at right now? I kind of mixed it up a little bit, if we're being honest. So my rankings might be a little all over the place.
Yeah, Trev, the early returns on a couple teams that it seems we're the most separated on are those Atlanta Braves. I have them a little bit higher than you currently. I put them at 17. If we're being honest, I told you I wanted to open up this episode with a little bit of foreplay for the people and fellas, you should start there, by the way.
Yeah, take your time.
Take your time. Don't be in a rush. You both have needs. I put the Atlanta Braves at 17. You put them at 23, Trev, which Again, it's everything you just laid out. It's tough because what the product's been bad, and a couple of the games I lost, it felt worse. But yeah,
it just hasn't been there hasn't been a lot of positives coming out of Atlanta. I mean, Sean Murphy getting glasses and being great is
right?
I'm into
huge.
that. Spencer Strider coming back, obviously that helps a lot. But I just figured if we're doing it right now, I got to capture the moment, and it's going to be. I do believe the Braves will end up being a top 10 team in this league, but I think it's okay now to say they just haven't been that, and I'm going to put them where I believe they deserve to be. Like I don't have a problem ranking them where I have them ranked and saying, hey man, like the Angels have played better baseball than you, and like I want to give the Angels some credit. So that's kind of where my head's at.
Yeah, the Angels also on the list of you and I being pretty far apart. You had them 16. I have them 22 right now. I'm just tough to be bought in Halo fans, and if you want to wear that against me, I'm fine with it.
I put them at 16 because I believe a 500 record would be like they'd be ecstatic about that this year. But I put them at 16 to give them a little bit of something to fight for, Jake. I don't want to put them at their ceiling just yet. And Angels fans have said, like, basically said, shh, don't talk about the Angels' good start. That's
right.
rule number one. Don't talk about it. So hopefully it continues. So I wanted to give them a little bit of wiggle room. 16. I mean, they played good ball. They've had some guys really step up for them.
I know. They've hurt me many years that it's going to be hard to believe until I see them after the trade deadline, if I see them in the playoffs maybe. All right, we're not just going to randomly hop around the whole episode. We are gonna,
I got one more random one.
Okay.
Where we hit perfectly together. Symbiotic relationship. I actually learned that at Busch Gardens yesterday, what that means. 26th ranked team in the big leagues.
Yeah.
My Minnesota Twins. They have played horrible ball. And I feel terrible. You know, like I picked them to win the division. I thought the roster was there, but they lose Matt Wallner, Carlos Correa last night. Pablo Lopez has been on the IL. Nothing has gone right for them. Not a thing. So I'm actually happy that we took them down because I think they need to be brought down a little bit, hit rock bottom, and maybe they can climb their way back up when things start to warm up, I guess. Like I'll give them that a little bit, but they've just played bad ball. And I'm happy that you've noticed that as well. I feel like I needed to like give a little talking to, you know what I'm saying? Like they need this.
That's great. And I just want to tell our listeners, hopefully that's the last Twins talk. It is funny to see the ones that we just randomly hit on the nose about. The San Francisco Giants coming up. We both had the same. This is the first time me and Trev, we each, instead of coming to a consensus, which we did a couple times last year, we wanted each of our lists and see the differences and talk it out, because that's the other part. Communication is the key to success. We both had the Blue Jays at the same number coming up later in the episode. And it looks like another big disagreement is the Houston Astros. Let's start chopping down the list, Trev, and it's with our friends at Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized sunglasses. Shady Rays, independent sunglasses company, rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. They've become a huge part of our company. They're a part of my everyday life. I wear them every day. That's how. And if they ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection policy in all of eyewear with their lost or broken replacement guarantee. If you don't love your shades, exchange for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. And we've got our best deal of the year. Summer's coming. Trev's on the beach. Go to shadyrays.com. Use code TALKIN for 35% off your next pair of polarized sunglasses. That's code TALKIN at shadyrays.com. Go get yours now. Coach Trevor Plouffe, I think there's 2 teams that if you're making power rankings for whatever website, YouTube's, TV, around baseball, there's 2 teams that had to be sorted out at the top. We landed with the same top 2. Would you like to announce it to the people?
Yeah, so officially 1/10 of the way through the season, the power ranking number 1 team, the San Diego Padres. who have just done everything right. Everything that we like asked of them to do, they've done it. Like, for instance, keep the pitchers. They talked about trading in the offseason. They've been able to do that. Nick Pivetta has been incredible for them. Randy Vasquez offers, a change of pace, of a 5-pitch mix, keeping guys off balance. I'll call him my soft contact king right now. The bullpen we knew was going to be good. It's been lights out. And then the core players, even with Jake Cronenworth, with Jackson Merrill on the IL right now. I actually spoke to Jake last night via Instagram DM, talked about our ribs.
Nice.
Tatis has been great. Like everything that we thought they could be, they've been so far. And they've won series, and they've done it in just kind of every different way imaginable. They have starting pitching, bullpen, offense, everything's been great. So I thought they were almost a no-brainer for number one.
Yeah, it's and if you have no idea, we both have the Dodgers at 2 because the Dodgers are still the Dodgers. They're 13-6, even though they've been on a slight series struggle bus of recent. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was the Padres. There's a couple things you could hold against them. They've played a ton of home games, which again, for early on in these power rankings, they've played 12 home games, 6 road games, where there's some other teams that are flipped or even worse than that. So that was something that was tough to juggle early on. I guess the other thing that I could spin if I wanted to.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
What?
You're going opponents, aren't you?
So over 500 and under 500, there's something there with the Padres. They're 9-1 against teams under 500, but it's so early. They've made these teams. So I'm not as hard on that. I guess something I just want people to note, and again, this is currently good news for Fathers fans, 11-0 versus right-handed starting pitching this year, 3-4 versus the lefties. So again, I'm not knocking them. I also had them at 1. Just a couple of my notes of how you could be critical of them, because otherwise everything's amazing.
Yeah, then great. The Dodgers were a team that I kind of struggled with because I think right now, if we're doing like current state power rankings, you could have moved them down to 4 or 5. But in the end, they really haven't played. This is the crazy thing. They really haven't played great baseball all year long. They were coming back from deficits every single game, so you could chalk that up as being great for them, as we always call them, inevitable. Or you could say, well, they've been like looking beatable. But it could be a little bit scary for everyone that they have still compiled. They got off that fast start, still with a nice record, although I believe they're in 3rd place in the NL West right now. But they haven't put everything together. They really have not. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's just this other gear, and then they do take off and they run away with everything, like we said. But I mean, it's hard not to put that roster, up at the top of the rankings or near the top.
They're still the Dodgers. Power is power. That's
the one that's what power is power means. The Dodgers.
Also, though, Chris Taylor's in center field last night. He made a great play. So maybe I shouldn't be saying it in a negative light. Their defense has been a little weird, and there's still some of these Dodgers versatility times that I'm looking around and I see Mookie at short and Chris Taylor in center, and something feels slightly off about it. Again, they have everything else to overcome that, even Snell being hurt. Like Bobby Miller used to be your guy. He's getting a spot start today. But, the pitching depth is already being tested there where, man, things for the Padres are going as smooth as they can in a baseball life. Trev, moving down, so it's an NL party.
NL.
If people don't understand, we've been discussing it, but you have your first 6 teams. We each have our first 6 teams as National League. We do have one team missing from that. Trev, your number 3 team I have at number 8, so why don't you tell the people about the New York Mets?
That's interesting you have them down at 8 because this is the thing, Jake. They've answered the question again about their starting pitching. Everyone has been great. Everyone has been great. Senga, McGill, Peterson, like they've been able to do it. And it's gotten me thinking what, we can't do it anymore. I know, I guess it's a tenth of the way through the season, But those were the questions we had going into the season with the Mets. We knew the offense was going to be there, even though a couple of their guys who we thought maybe have established themselves, like a Mark Vientos, has struggled. They've had plenty to make up for that. But the starting pitching has been there. So that was like my question mark coming into the season. They've answered it again. So I have them high. Will it continue, I guess, is the question. But for me right now, they look about as good as any team out there.
Yeah, I have them at 8th, and we'll sort through the list to get there. There's a strength of schedule stat on Baseball Reference that has them with the 5th easiest schedule so far. I don't live by that stat, but again, I'm the guy arguing against them right now. And hey, against 500 teams, they've been the best. 7-2 against teams over 500. They are 4-4 against teams under 500, so they're a little backwards right now. Where I can't argue with you, Trev, is I said before this season, this is my big year to find out, do the Mets just pitch now? Are they one of those teams? And that's what Stearns was supposed to bring from
exactly.
Milwaukee.
He came from Milwaukee. Yeah.
It looks like it, right? Like their bullpen, who after Diaz, the names don't jump off the page. Their bullpen's been pretty damn good. Isn't that what we used to say about Milwaukee every year? So you are right there. If this team does pitch like this for the whole season, because the lineup hasn't fully clicked yet, although Soto's starting to go, there's a potential upside to this team, especially if the Braves are going to have another choppy season. 3's a little high for my blood, but the Mets are really good, and they're one of the teams that has changed my perspective of them into this season.
If Lindor at the top of the lineup gets going, even just career norms or even a little bit below career norms, the way Pete Alonso is driving in runs right now, they don't even need the pitching to be what it can be. Like, they're going to put up runs this year. I truly do believe in this lineup. But if they're going to, like you said, become the next Brewers, where they're finding diamonds in the rough for the bullpen. I believe there's like 6 guys with a whip under 1 in that bullpen. And again, the Clay Holmes experiment has gone incredible. The McGill brothers continue to just dominate in the bigs. To me, they're a very well-rounded team right now. So I had to put them up.
The other NL teams that we can chip through pretty quickly. I had the Phillies at 3 still. I think for their start of the season, they have still displayed who they are. A little bit of power is power. And then I went D-backs Giants, where the Giants, by pure impressiveness of what's been shown on the field, they probably have the best argument for 3rd, which is insane, because then you're starting off with 3 NL West teams. I think the Diamondbacks have shown that they are still the Diamondbacks. That offense is still going to play with a little more rotation depth. That I went Phillies, D-backs, Giants. You went Phillies, Giants, D-backs. And it is splitting hairs a bit. Yeah.
I probably give the Phillies too much credit, like I always do. I just like that team. I believe in that team. I agree with you. The Giants have probably put themselves in that spot. I have them ranked 5th, 1 behind the Phillies. And Arizona, like you hit it on the head, man. They offensively, they're incredible. I believe that like the starting pitching is going to be even better than it has been. Where all these teams are kind of right in that same realm, and I don't think any like you and I, if the Phillies, the Giants, or the Diamondbacks went on this run and ended up in the World Series, I don't think. Well, the Giants, I guess we would be a little bit surprised, but not.
Yes.
After watching the first couple weeks of the season, I say going into the season, yes, but they, I believe we said they'd be happy with 500 this year. Didn't we say that?
I think so.
And things have.
Maybe a little more. I don't know. I'd have to see the tape. Yeah.
I know. We said wild card. I
mean, Jung-Hoo Lee being who he has been massive to this season. And hey, if I'm going to home road other teams, the Giants have gotten a lot of their work done on the road. 8-3, including an East Coast roadie. So the Giants deserve the love.
Yeah, the lineup is long. We love the starting pitching. We love the bullpen. They're fundamentally sound. They can find different ways to win. They've grown on me a lot over the first couple weeks of the season.
All right, I have a team to circle back on a second, but let's finally get to the American League.
Yeah.
Which, like I mentioned, we both have them at 7. You have 2 teams at 7 and 8. I have these 2 teams at 7 and 9. Trev?
Yes.
You put the Texas Rangers and then the New York Yankees at 7 and 8. I went Yankees 7, Rangers 9. Are you just being salty on me or what?
I'm not being salty on you. I mean, right now I'm looking at this this Rangers lineup, and Josh Jung, only 8 games played, but if you include him, we got 7 guys with OPS pluses over 100. That's a long, deep lineup. Jacob deGrom has looked really good. Tyler Mahle has looked incredible. Like I'm very happy for him. He's back on the mound, pitching through 4 games, a .92 ERA, got 21 Ks already. And then one of the best stories in all of baseball right now, Jake. And this is what I always kind of look to, hey, is this team going to go places this year? Jack Leiter being the guy that he's been, like what a difference that makes in that rotation. So I think that was where again, you don't have to have 5 starters deep in your rotation for us to like your team, but obviously starting pitching depth helps. Eovaldi, Mahle, deGrom, Leiter, what's not to like right there? So you pair that with the offense. It was difficult. Like where do you put the first American League team? And it's pretty crazy because we did talk about that in the offseason. Is this just the National League's year? Like it just seems like these teams are on paper much better. And then again through the first 2 weeks, I feel like almost the entire baseball world is thinking along the same lines. Where it's the National League, and I'm at 7 with my first American League team. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Between Texas and the Yankees, I feel like the Rangers are a little bit more complete. That's why I have them above.
I like the Rangers. I put them as my World Series AL team to start the year. Again, the AL just hasn't separated at all. I did put the Yankees on top of them just because seeing the talent, it's there. There's big talent on the field for the Yankees. They went to the World Series. I know they lost Soto, but their young guys are playing out of their
Ben Rice
dome,
has been incredible. It
can change your organization's outlook. Like Ben Rice is leading in baseball savant categories.
Yes,
Volpe
unbelievable.
has looked solid. Austin Wells has looked really good. Peraza and Cabrera. Dominguez, the Martian, feels like he's coming into his own. That's if those 5 young guys are major leaguers, never mind if some of them have plus in there, that changes your season's outlook.
100%. That was my question mark with the Yankees going in. Like, they have young guys. Who is going to be the guy to step up? Are any of them going to step up? Is it going to be a sophomore slump thing? And then, like you mentioned, Ben Rice has been incredible. Wells has been great. Martian's put up incredible at bats. Will that continue throughout a season? And I guess time will tell as the book gets out a little bit more and more on these guys. But so far, like if you're just watching them, like the at bats have been of the quality of variety. And like I don't know, I believe a little bit more in the Yankees than I did coming into the season. I definitely had questions about them. We talked about it during their TPP, but they look pretty good. The young guys, like you said, that changes the outlook because you have the established vets. You can kind of place, hey, this guy's gonna be around his career norms. The young guys, the rookies, the second year guys, that's where teams can start to either go take a step forward or take a step back. And the Yankees have done the former, man. They look good.
Juan Soto mentioned it. The best hitter in the world plays on the Yankees, so that helps. Trev, we had the same top 9. And I had this team at 6, and you had them at 9. The Chicago Cubs, what do you got?
This one's a little tough for me because I do think they're playing like incredible baseball and they're a well-rounded team. The only reason I put them down is because of the loss of Justin Steele. I kind of regret it. After I sent it, I kind of regretted it because I do believe they will go make a move. I guess a couple reasons. Justin Steele being out really hurts. Again, I do think they will go attempt to pry Sandy away, or maybe they go get one of the Twins pitchers. I'm not really sure. Like they're going to make something happen. Also, the bullpen has been very, very shaky early on, so that's kind of why I had them down. Besides Porter Hodge, I mean they have guys there, but they really haven't stepped up just yet. I do expect a lot out of this team. But yeah, I feel like 9 was right.
They're interesting. Can you mentally wash those first 2 games and take 2 losses off the schedule? Not how it should work, but you kind of can, right? And then the bullpen thing, again, if you like the Cubs or don't like the Cubs, which I think I'm jumping on the Cubs bandwagon a little bit, the bullpen's the easiest thing to fix. Or one guy gets hot, or Ryan Presley clicks, and then the rest of it sorts out. Okay, Cubs fans, turn off your ears for a second. A little Jake John Boy credit. Matt Shaw just got sent down. The batting stance was just a lot for a kid trying to make. I mean,
wasn't he crushing in spring training with that batting stance?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it was the old man sensor going off. Matt Shaw's defense was awesome. It's going to happen. Let's see that develop. Trev, rounding out the top 10, and then we'll start chewing through the list in chunks a little bit. You went with Detroit, who I had at 12. I went with the Astros, which I might have just unked myself because you had them a little bit lower on the list.
Yeah, so Detroit, for me, they have also answered the question I had. I questioned the starting pitching. I thought there was enough question marks. Obviously, School was going to be a guy. I love Jack Flaherty. I was curious to see how he was going to look this year, and he's been really good. Mize has been great. Job, like they've answered my question in that regard, and like they've hit more than I thought they were going to hit, Jake. So I had to put, they're by far my highest ranked AL Central team. We'll get into that a little bit later, but they've been impressive to watch. When they need to score runs, they can score runs. I think their defense can play well enough. And the biggest question I had coming into the year, we know the bullpen was going to be great. But what we're going to get out of some of these starting pitchers, I thought there was, a little, at least a little bit of variance in where they could end up, but they've all looked really good so far.
Yeah, I also had them as my highest AL Central team. I do think sorting between them and the Guardians, it feels like a conversation that's on repeat year after year. And even the Royals, who we both had a little further down, but, a good week or bad week from those guys. Royals just happen to run into the buzzsaw that is the Yankees. I guess for myself, Trev, Houston still rent-free, bro. Like, they're still in there, man. Like, they went to the dance. They just got Skubald, who, is going to win or won the Cy Young and has a really good chance to win it again. And then they got Tigers pitching chaos. And a 3-game set, they lost 2 games. Otherwise, Houston made the dance again, and they were there. And I love the Kyle Tucker move for Chicago, but like I've said a lot, Paredes is balling out.
He's balling out.
Cam Smith made the team. Wesneski's in the rotation. Like, that trade could end up being pretty damn good for Houston, too, with Hunter Brown looks incredible.
He's had, I believe I saw a stat, since May of last year, he's 1 or 2 in ERA in all of the big leagues. Like, he's turned into an absolute workhorse, like, stud. So, I mean, this portion of the list, call it 12 through 18, could have went any single way for me. It really can. Because every team in this tier, I believe, has question marks. Some of it's pitching related, some of it's hitting related. They're all kind of right there together. This is where I struggled the most. But yeah, the Astros, almost similar to, I felt like they needed to hear it a little bit. Like, it's time to step up your play. If you're going to, when did they take over the AL West? It was in May of last year. So this is nothing unfamiliar to them, and maybe they'll go on that run again. But this is my kind of way of being a dad to them, saying, hey, if you don't pick it up a little bit, I'm going to have you below, the Rays and the Angels even. How about that? I've talked about that a little bit, like the changing. Crazy. Listen, man, listen. The AL West, like it's up for grabs. Like, I don't think it's the Astros division. It doesn't really feel like that this year. The Rangers, who I have ranked 7th overall, like, I like them. Could I see them going on having a 10 and 15 month or 10 and 16 month, and then all of a sudden, the Mariners, like, they're all kind of there together. So, just saying, they don't feel as dominant, or they doesn't feel inevitable this year, Jake, with the Astros.
I guess right now it doesn't. There is a chance we open our eyes in
So
a month. And
are you
like,
really?
Oh, they
so
are
you're back in
another
on because last year we all saw it, and I was very. There was like no doubt that something was going to change. I think this year's different. I do love the starting pitching, but it just feels different to me.
I kind of don't. Like, could that lineup be really strong at the top? Altuve, Paredes, Jordan, Christian Walker, Pena, Yiner. Like, I got past the top. Can the Astros pitch? They've sneaky done that for a while. Framber, Hunter Brown, Blanco, Wesneski. Right now, your guy Gusto in there. They also have the bad man on the back end. Like, Josh Hader's still that guy for me, dude. And he's been off to one of his best starts ever and as good of a start as you can get to that, like, yeah, they haven't been taken off the bad man pedestal for me.
Okay. I kind of have them off right now.
Last year.
I have them off right now. Maybe they have to have a week and show me something for it to change. But right now, I do not feel the same way I felt last year.
Well, I feel pretty good about DirecTV because today's episode is sponsored by DirecTV. If you're ready to experience baseball like never before, DirecTV is the ultimate destination for baseball fans, bringing you right into the heart of America's favorite pastime. Bottom of the ninth, bases loaded. Your team star steps up to the plate. With DirecTV's MLB coverage, you can catch those thrilling moments. You can watch your MLB games completely satellite free with DirecTV. You heard that right. No satellite required. Baseball isn't a sport. It's a passion. DirecTV is your home for baseball, bringing the crack of the bat and the roar of the crowd right into your living room. If you're ready to transform your baseball watching experience, head to directtv.com/JohnBoy or scan the QR code on the screen to learn more. Coach Trev, like you already prefaced, this is the grindiest part.
Yes.
That I don't want us to get too bogged down. How about this? I will introduce your 10 through 20. Or let's do 10 through 15, and you walk me through your thoughts. You put, as we mentioned, Detroit, we just talked about. The Milwaukee Brewers, which were very tricky for this exercise. The Red Sox, the Mariners, the Cleveland Guard Dogs, and the Toronto Blue Jays that I mentioned before. We both landed at the same spot. Them in the 15th hole is very interesting. So walk me through that.
It is interesting. You know, the team I think I struggled the most with was my number 20 team, the Reds. Like, I want to give them a ton of credit. I think they can be much better than that. But maybe this exercise is, or what I think this exercise has done for me is, I think there's a lot of, like, good teams in baseball. There's a few bad teams. There's a lot of good teams. And then there's a few really good teams. But there's a lot of that, like, just good tier. You know, a little bit of flaws on them. They could go on runs, and that's kind of what I have in this tier. Detroit, to me, like they're probably one of the teams that's impressed me the most early on in the season. Or, you know, from where I started, you know, having them at 10. I think Milwaukee just has ways to win. They have their style of baseball, playing good defense, and I just think that for me, they're still on that Astros. They feel inevitable. Situation. So that's why I have them at 11. Boston kind of needs to figure it out. I believed in them so much. I had them in the World Series, so I couldn't really put them that much lower. But they look a little flawish to me. Mariners is almost the same sort of situation that we've seen over the last how many moons, Jake? They're still throwing the ball. They're still not really hitting the ball. Jorge Polanco has been great for them. And, they need to find that consistent offense. Cleveland, I feel almost the same way as the Brewers, where they can beat you in a bunch of different ways. The names on the roster don't pop out at you, but they're going to be there. I think they have one of the higher floors in baseball. And the Blue Jays, I wanted to give a little bit of credit. I feel like everyone kind of wrote them off, early on or even before the season. I think they've played better ball, Jake. I wanted to give them a little pep talk, like a little pat on the butt, saying you guys are doing pretty good.
Yeah, they deserve a little bit of credit, man. Like, and there's still a lot of names on that team you recognize, and it's funny. Vlad's and
it looks like they're going to keep everyone together too. That's kind of the thing,
right? That I don't know that kind of matters if you're playing baseball together as a team, right? Like you're not looking at everyone in the clubhouse like a vagabond or you're going to be traded in a couple months. A very important start for them, and Vladdy hasn't, like I mentioned, he's got a little homer streak, or not homer streak going right now, but the pitching has settled down. Their bullpen was brutal last year, and Jeff Hoffman has been significant in changing that. You know a lot of the names in their rotation that, I'm not driving the Blue Jays hype train, but I am driving the fact that they're going in this expanded wild card. Like the Blue Jays are going to be at least lurking, I think, all year, if not to the deadline.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with some of these pitchers. Like if Bassett's got up to such a strong start, do they look to capitalize on that as he's in his walk year? Like, are you really going to keep everyone together and really make a run for it? Now that they have Vladdy locked up long term, that actually makes me think that they don't have to act that way anymore. Like we thought they needed to go all in to keep Vladdy there in the offseason. That's done. He's going to be there. So now you can act almost more like you would in any other season. And you got a pitcher in his walk year going lights out. The Cubs, who I just mentioned, lost Justin Steele. Like everyone's always looking for starting pitching. Like, is Bassett a guy that could be available? But yeah, they've gotten out to a good start, 10-8 right now. George Springer's had an incredible start to the year. Very happy for him. And you mentioned Jeff Hoffman, who looks like to be one of the best signings of the entire offseason. So a little bit of love to the Blue Jays.
You see his Thanos tattoo? It's intense.
What's Thanos?
Okay. My 10 through 15 was Houston, those Cincinnati Reds you mentioned. I'm in.
You are in. I am too, Jake. I just didn't know where to put them, dude.
It's tough, but dude, they're pitching. They're arguably pitching better than anyone in baseball. Their rotation and their bullpen, that I think that Reds lineup is going to kick in. They pitch in such a hellish ballpark. Hunter Green is the guy. I said I
like them at 11. Good for you.
Thank you. Reds and the Giants, my dirty little secret. I'm in on them until they hurt me again. And then Tigers guards, again, splitting hairs there. The Red Sox, who there's so much talent, and Crochet's that guy, and it just feels like it hasn't happened yet. It does feel like we're gonna wake up and they're gonna win 8 out of 9 or something like that. But the defense is just bizarre. The errors are tough. My 16 through 20, I went Royals. I put the Braves in. Like I still believe in that talent. It's a bad start, and teams have
17
that.
is
right?
17 is also you telling them that it ain't working right now. Figure some stuff out.
I mean, they're a team that, with the right start, we would be arguing them for first, like the Braves and the Padres coming into this season. I went Brewers. You're right, and I'll probably regret this the next time we check in. I haven't felt it yet, and again, maybe it's too much of that opening weekend of the Yanks seeing them get mashed around, but they've been pretty good since then.
Yes.
The Orioles were really tough for this exercise, and then I put my Mariners just because I'm always in a tough spot with them until they prove me wrong.
I had the Orioles at 21, and for me, that's the number one. They've gotten off to a horrible start. I believe they're 6-10 or 6-11, whatever it is. But they had questions in the offseason. They did not address them, and it's coming back to bite them right now. Like, they need starting pitching, and they haven't gotten that. Offensively, they've looked okay at best. So I want them to prove it to me. I don't think that we can just say, yeah, they're gonna come back and they're gonna do it. Like, I need to see it. I think both of us feel that way.
The two teams I fell in love with right before the season were the Braves when we did their TPP, and the Braves and the Orioles. I was like, both those teams felt like they had meh last year's and still won a ton of games that I was like, ooh, watch out. Moylan mentioned it a little bit, and again, he's attached to the Braves, so I don't know if he wants me throwing him under the bus with you and your twin situation. But he was like, the Braves had needs that they didn't really address this offseason. Like, we all did the whoa when they signed Profar, and now that's ended up in an area nobody could have expected. But, like, they lost Max Fried and Charlie Morton, and everyone was just like, okay, Braves. And, like, they didn't have a perfect last year. That, yeah, I guess those two teams I came around on the start, I'm not nervous. It's April 16th, but let's get some good juice going.
I mean, I don't know. I think if I had to rank my most disappointing team so far, I think it has to be the Orioles. Because at least we're getting reinforcements, or maybe my Twins. Excuse me, I think my Twins might be the number one for being
Twins
really honest.
Again, we're good.
Yeah, okay.
Twins mentioned again, we're good.
But the Braves still have their guy. Like Strider's coming back, Acuna's not back yet. Like when that happens, and and the Profar thing sucks because he was supposed to be their guy. Like you put him in. This is the lineup. This is what we have. I don't think they had a bunch of needs. I'm curious to hear what Peter thinks the needs were that they didn't address. The starting pitching, sure, you're getting Strider back. So I still think we haven't seen them at full force. I guess you could say the same thing about the Orioles and Grayson Rodriguez, but to me, I did have some decently high expectations for the Orioles, and they just don't look. I call them identityless, and I think that I hate saying that word because what does it even freaking mean? But it looks like uninspired ball to me right now. Like someone's got to closed door team meeting, take a shot together before the game. I don't know. Something's got to happen because it just doesn't look like just good team baseball right now. How about that?
Yeah, I think there's some. Yeah. Whoa. It's early, but yeah, the Braves depth. Some of the guys you're seeing in there on a nightly basis now.
You don't like Nick Allen at short?
I think defensively he's great, and I believe he's married to Aaron Boone's niece, so maybe Brett Boone's daughter. I might need research and development.
So he's a good guy like that.
Orioles, 30th in starting pitching ERA, and it's a staff we looked at and we weren't looking and liking, and they've had the injury bug that's got to figure itself out. Because right now, Morton, Kramer, Shigano, Povich, I can't promise you any of those guys are going to shove on a given day.
19th in team OPS as well. So yeah, I mean they kind of deserve to be where they're at right in our rankings.
Identityless. Do we have Nick Allen update?
5'8", 166 Nick Allen is married to Brett Boone's daughter.
Okay, so I'm excited to see those kids just dominate.
Does that move the Braves up a little bit in your rankings?
It moves the Braves up. I will move them up. Actually, I won't, because the Royals, I think, are a good baseball team. Trev, let's go. Again, I gave mine. You're 15 through 20 for those keeping track, and I think we'll get a graphic out after this. You had your Angels at 16, Rays at 17, Astros, Royals, Reds, and then Orioles at 21. So I guess the teams we haven't got there.
Let's talk about one specific team. The Cardinals.
I'll give you Okay, talk about the Cardinals.
I don't know. I do not know how to rank this.
Should we be more in? They were the toughest team to place.
We might have to. Right now, currently third in baseball in OPS, Jake. I did not have that.
Right?
Did not have that coming into the year. Brendan Donovan's been great for them. I had a very difficult time ranking this team. And I had them at 22, and you had them at 23. So you had them ranked lower than I did.
Okay, one spot. I mean,
I guess coming into the season, the expectations were low. Some of the things being said around the organization, like retooling, rebuilding, whatever it was this year. And maybe, just maybe, you're in that clubhouse and you're like, this sucks. We're not going to do that. They've actually played decent ball to start the year, Jake. Probably more deserving of maybe closer to the middle of the pack ranking than we gave them.
They definitely got hurt by their past couple years' reputation. Offensively, first in average, first in on-base percentage, your St. Louis Cardinals. And then, people were commenting, because I was giving the lineup a little bit of love. They were like, hey, man, the rotation's been fine. Like, not problematic. Which
it's been phenomenal for them.
And when you look at it, you got 6 guys that you've seen throw major league innings in Gray, Fetty, Matz, Payante, Michaelis, and Liberatore, that it's like, oh, okay, Helsley on the back end. Maton has been a breath of fresh air. Right now they might be getting dinged the hardest by their past couple years. And their offseason where they did nada.
Yes, I think that's where
Nada.
that's where it was for us. Coming in, we still had that off-season vibe, but they look great. Pleonte is one of the nastier pitchers in the big league when he's on. I think about like getting in the box against these guys. I don't want to get in the box against him. And Sonny Gray continues to be just criminally underrated as far as starting pitchers.
Right?
He came to the Twins. Everyone loved him. Talked about his professionalism. He's ace adjacent still at 35 years old. So yeah, their starting pitching's been great. They have high end, top, back end of the bullpen type guys, and then offensively they've just got it done so far. So I think that's going to be one spot where we get a little bit of pushback when this graphic comes out. As Cardinals fans are going to say we deserve more credit, and they probably do, Jake.
They might. I know they've been hurt just as much by their past couple seasons, so maybe they won't, but they have to be happy with what they've seen so far. Trev, let's start rounding it down, because you're 21 through 30. Orioles, Cardinals, Braves, talked about them. And then here comes the slop a little bit. Athletics, Marlins, Twins, Nationals, Pirates, White Sox, Rockies. What really has to be said about that and not about the Twins?
I like watching the A's play baseball, and I think they can eventually move more to the middle of the pack of these rankings. I think they have. So it's a bunch of young dudes playing like fun ball out there.
Right.
Like at times it gets a little sloppy. We know the park they're playing at. Like I think they're gonna have to like try to outslug teams that come in there. But that's one team that I think we could see kind of. I said in our TVPs, if we were in July or August and we saw that the A's were in the wild card hunt, I wouldn't bat an eye. I still really, really feel that way, even though I have them ranked 24th in all of baseball. They're a lot of fun, man. I don't think enough people are talking about Jacob Wilson and the other Max Muncy playing high school ball together and now playing up the middle together in like kind of the big leagues. It's a minor league park, but kind of the big leagues.
Whoa.
That's a lot of fun, man. That's a really cool story. So I think they have a chance. I mean, Soderstrom, I believe, leads all of baseball in homers right now. So they're getting like some fun performances, out the gate. Overall, like, are they a top 10 team, or can they ever be a top 10 team in baseball right now? Probably not. But they can go on runs. I think there's if you want to like latch on to a young, fun team, I think they're one of the teams that you could say, yes, that's who they are.
Yeah, I think everyone wants to see just a little more from the pitching. The rotation, not fully bringing it. The bullpen, not fully bringing it. How much of that is the field, which now we're getting excited about the young hitting, so how much of that is that? Hey, Soderstrom leading baseball in home runs. And I think you're right. I think that was good analysis of, like, if this Oakland team is going to be 500 or competitive, it's looking like they're going to have to hit a lot, and it's just tough to buy into all of these young guys hitting a lot. But maybe they will, because I can also talk myself into, a chunk of the lineup, like 1 through 6, might be able to hit this year.
They got a guy coming up to Nick Kurtz, who's everyone is just drooling over this guy. If he comes up and is difference maker, then that changes everything. Lengthens the lineup, put him in that stadium, see what happens. Someone likened him to a young Jim Tomei, that's obviously massive shoes to fill. But he's got power. He doesn't strike.
Homer stock.
Oh, okay. Who's that?
That was a friend of mine. He operates online under John Boy.
Oh, does he want to come and give his power rankings right now?
It's a silent ball. He sure doesn't.
Ask him where the A's rank in his power rankings.
Already out of the room.
Okay. Well, look, they have a chance to go up. So 24 seems right for them right now. Maybe we get them at a 16 later on in the year.
Rockies, hopeless. White Sox, a little bit the same. Pirates fans, yikes. We both had them as the third worst team, and you've heard us talk about the frustration, and you guys are probably frustrated as well. Marlins, rarely mentioned. They're off to an okay start.
Mervis and Conine getting it done. No,
right.
There's been some performances. Sandy's back. That's great. How is he going to be there all year? That's obviously a storyline that we've had I guess not last year, but coming into this year. So we'll see how they go. I mean, yeah, it's where they belong, Jake. I don't think Miami fans are going to be mad about being 25th. They're probably happy. I'm above my Twins.
Buying my national stock for next year. Hey, people, per usual, you guys know your team more than us. Let us know what we missed, what there should have been more or less of. And yeah, for early power rankings, especially in that middle area, what do you do with the Rays right now? It's grindy, but God, I love it. Baseball's so back. Trev, let's start wrapping it up with Betting the Cycle, our new weekly tradition at Talkin Baseball, where DraftKings helps us bet the cycle. We start off with something light that'll help us be a lock. Get this one in. Cash it. And then something with a little more of a deep cut that if you bet it properly, you might be able to cash in on. DraftKings, they say baseball is a marathon, not a sprint, and that's great news for us because there are so many games to bet on. Don't miss a second of the action with our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. From every game until the champagne bottles are popped and the trophies lifted, DraftKings has you covered. Same game parlays, odds boosts, and so much more. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you use code JAMBASEBALL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use code JAMBASEBALL. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. JAMBASEBALL only at DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, Trev. DraftKings bet the cycle. You want to bet leadoff? I need you leadoff.
I want to bet leadoff, and I like the 3 of the 4 that we have here. I got to be honest with you. We'll start with our single. We're going to take the over in the Angels-Rangers game that's on Thursday. Kahanowitz has a 5.74 on the year, 3 homers and 3 starts this year. Kumar Rocker has been getting hit a ton. He's letting people on base, 194 whip in 3 starts. So let's take the over. A lot of people are going to be on base, maybe some homers. We talked about the Rangers lineup and the depth that it has. And maybe Kyron Paris hits a grand slam and the over, boom, single.
Oh, my God. You love them. Good.
I do.
My double, Dansby's doubles, baby. And we're going for 2+ total bases against the Padres and Pivetta, who I've been high on full pension Piv this year. But Dansby saw Pivetta earlier this season, 2 for 2 with a homer on April 5th. So give me 2+ bases. Maybe it's a single and a double. Maybe he goes Yacker first at bat and it's gone.
Love that one. That could have been our single, Jake, but we'll keep it as a double.
Wow.
This triple one, this is where I'm a little iffy on. Spencer Strider comes back. First game back, he's going to record 10+ Ks in his first game back. In his last rehab start, he did pitch 5 1/3 innings. He threw 90 pitches, so he is built up. He struck out 13 batters. But to me, there could be a little bit of too much excitement for old Spencer, and maybe he doesn't get deep enough into the game to strike out 10+ people in a major league game. So this one's iffy to me, but maybe a little sprinkle as our triple.
Maybe I don't know. I
maybe he strikes out 20
like it
people
as the 3, right? Spencer Strider thinks he's got to save the Braves himself. He could be aiming for closer to 14, 15.
Something tells me he's going to walk some people. I don't know why. Just little nerves, too much excitement. The adrenaline is back.
He's a sick puppy, man. The home run, and I can't believe this lands here, and we should tell the people Dalton helps us out with this. He has the Braves sweeping the Twins this weekend. So I don't know if you just want to line that up as a little parlay. Braves win, Braves win, Braves win. Braves have won 8 straight versus the Twins, Trev.
I told you, there's a bunch of guys injured. They've underperformed. Like, nothing is really going right for the Twins whatsoever. So I don't hate this one. Although the Braves aren't exactly playing banner baseball either. But if I had to pick one team to win the series and possibly sweep, I'd pick the Braves.
Banner baseball, baby. That was DraftKings Bet the Cycle. Make sure you use code JMBaseball. Excited to dive deeper. We will Friday morning. We'll be doing series recap episode. I'll be from our warehouse. Make sure you guys go check all of that out. And again, let us know how bad our power rankings were, bro. Where does John Boy have the Athletics? Comment
You guys
below.
don't know ball.
We appreciate you guys. Thanks to BBD. Plugging holes. That's what he does.
Seen it.
On it. On and off.
Seen it. What does BBD stand
thank you,
for
everyone.
anyway?
Yeah. I've heard.
Sucks.
I suck. Heard different conflicting reports on that.
Big what?
Mm.
Yeah, you down to the beach. I almost had Olivia come to walk by in this beautiful bikini, but she didn't want to do that.
I saw you get distracted, and I knew it could only be one thing.